Guys, I'm with Traig Brown with Heavenly Acres over here in Hugo, Oklahoma. And I don't know if y'all saw on my Facebook, but Traig's ministry, Traig, how long you been in ministry?
January 10th will be 28 years.
All right, what happened to you yesterday?
One of the clients set the house on fire, and anyway, we lost the girls' trailer and the main house. Everything's to the ground.
How many years of memories you got in that house that burned down?
Moved there in 2000, so 23 years.
23 years. What made you want to do this?
Daddy is all I can say. He told me he'd give me a love for his children. I was to love them like he would send me his children to love that wasn't my own, but I was to love them like my own.
How many people are you in your house right now?
We've got, I think, 27 at the ministry.
How do you see them people? Like, what are they to you?
They're my family. In Isaiah, he said, I'll call a people my people that are not my people, and I'll be found by a people that did not seek me. Nobody ever comes there seeking God. They find him when they get there, a lot of them. But if God Almighty, which he did, he calls me his son, who I wasn't his son. And so I think we're to set that same example. And another deal is there's no last names in the Bible. I think that's pretty cool.
How many people do you think have been in your house in 23 years?
I have no clue.
If you had to guess.
I've had people tell me they've been there that I don't remember being there because they only stayed a day or two, but over 500 I know easy. In 23 years, I don't know.
500 people went through this ministry. This ministry just burned down yesterday. And this man, he told me on the phone yesterday.
Well, wait a minute. In the 90s, my son and I sat down. It was before 2000, so I think it was 98. There had been, we thought of, no. In 2003, he graduated in 2005. We sat down and we come up with 700 names from the time we had started in 96. So, like I said, I don't know.
In the thousands.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So in all these years, he hadn't publicized his ministry at all. The only help that he's received is just people that know him very closely. And what this has done, what the enemy tried to destroy, they tried to take out him, his ministry. There's people in the house when it got set on fire.
Nothing's in my name. It's all in the ministry's name. I don't know nothing.
And so the devil tried to destroy this man's ministry yesterday. So with this awareness, we're going to help this man raise up a new building to help start his new ministry and burst something new in there. And that's what we need your help for. We need you to help this man. Now, this man, you've never heard him ask you for help. In fact, he probably is not going to do that on this phone, but I'm asking for help for him. I don't like asking anybody for money, but I know his heart. I know what he's done. I talked to a lady today. She said when she's 15 years old, she put a needle in her arm and started doing heroin. She said at 5 years old, she was looking through a peephole watching her mama do meth through a needle. It was meth. And she said since 15 years old until 6 months ago, she was on meth. The only time that she was free for 5 years, she was in prison for 5 to 5.5 years. 5.5 calendars is what she worked with. Until she ran into this man right here. And now she hasn't had a needle on her arm in 6 months. Is that right? And it's because of this man's heart and his heart to take this woman into his home. She was planning on staying there one day and then leaving. Now she's permanently staying there. Won't go into detail there, but you'll see it in her story. That's part of her testimony. But I talked to a man, and he said, I said, where would you be if it wasn't for Traig Brown? He said, well, I'd be dead. 100%. I'd be a dead man today. I'd be in the ground. And so I just encourage you guys to love on this man. He's loved on these people for 30 years. He's loved on people for 30 years. This man, his stature is small beside me. I look like a big man to him, but this right here is bigger than anything I've ever seen in my life. He's got one of the biggest hearts that I've ever seen. My own family member that everybody threw away, even the police didn't want. The Glen Oaks, the psychiatric hospitals didn't want her. This man took her into his home, and he helped give my mama a house, and he helped love on my mama. He's loved on many people that I know, and I'll just go ahead and this traumatic experience that's happened is because of his love for a woman that nobody wanted. And so we need to pray for him. We need to love on him because he's got a lot to do. And I pulled out there and I didn't think it'd be all gone. And I knew they had a nice double wide that the girl stayed in, and that thing's gone. You'll see in the pictures. And you saw the makeshift houses they're trying to make something out of for them to have a place to sleep tonight. But for even if somebody donates $2-3 million and builds a new building, they're still gonna need something for 2-3 months to stay in. So we're gonna need some construction workers out there helping them with these houses. They're gonna need a little help. So whatever y'all have got to give. I noticed some clothes coming in, some shoes coming in. We were led to buy him some pizzas for dinner. I said, y'all got something for dinner tonight? He said, I don't know. Could you imagine having 27 kids you got to feed? 27 grown kids. And that's what this man's got to feed tonight. So we made sure he had some pizza at least. But it's up to you to take care of them tomorrow. And the next day and the next day till they can get back on their feet. But I encourage you to love on him. This man here is used to pouring out. He's used to giving. In fact, I was told this man has had some things over the years. He's had a little money in his pocket, but he gives it all away. And I've never heard him to ask for anything. In fact, even when my own family stayed with him, he never asked me for anything. And I don't believe you've ever asked for anybody's brought over.
We're self-supported. I mean, people that come in, they get jobs and pay a program fee and stuff like that. But you can't expect somebody coming in off of drugs to go get a job in a week or two. They've got to get their mind right. They've got to get their priorities right. And but what started it all was my daughter went home January 10th of '96, and not everybody's buried a child. I wouldn't wish that on my own worst enemy, but through my darkest day, it ended up being my brightest day because I realized the love that God had for us, and realized that He put us here to love one another and help one another. And then Toby, my son, went home in '09, and it was through meth, and that's why I've got a heart for meth people, because it's a game. It's not choices they make; they get caught up. And anyway, it's a lot of them go back, but you sow the seed and you pray for the best.
At Traig, there's going to be hundreds, maybe thousands, maybe millions of people see this video. And I want to end it with you telling them, not one of these people probably on this video have ever taken a homeless person off the street, or somebody fresh out of prison, or somebody strung out on a park bench, have ever brought them in and took them into their home and loved on them and loved them out of what they're going through and discipled them. Traig, what would you tell these people what they could do to get that hunger that you have?
My biggest eye-opener is love your neighbor as yourself. You put yourself in their shoes, and what would you want them to do if you was calling them and you was in their place? Because that's what Jesus said. Love your neighbor as yourself. So it's setting yourself aside and swapping roles. And I'll be honest, don't always like it, but I know that's what we're called to do. And like I said, don't go by last names. I couldn't tell you a lot of them's last name out there, first name basis. But I've got kids from East Coast, California, Wisconsin, Illinois. Devil thought he stole 2 of my biological, but he ain't still no kids for me. I've got more kids than Carter's got liver pills. And it's just all about a relationship. It's not about how many times you sit in church and sit in that same spot in church. It's about a relationship with your Father. So,
If y'all have got a prophetic word to send him, you can send it to my messenger. I'll send it straight to him. If you've got something the Lord put on your heart to send this man, he needs a little encouragement. He needs a little pulling right now. If you've got a little money in your pocket, and instead of just send it to him, he'll use it for good. And if you've got something to bring, a chair, a grill, an outdoor patio set, a bed, a recliner, a sound system, a TV, a toaster oven, they've lost everything. So if you've got anything sitting around the house that they might could use, let's just get it up to K&G Mowers. I'll get it over here. If y'all want to bring it to Hugo, I'll give you his address. Are you a 501c3?
yes, 501c3.
It's the end of the year, guys. If you got a donation and you need to leave, if you're a business owner, you need a donation, here's your ministry to pour into right here. There's not going to be anybody getting a salary off the money you give them. It's going to go straight back into this ministry. And I couldn't think of a better way to end the year out for your tax donation to go right here to Heavenly Acres. Watch my videos. I showed you videos of place, how peaceful it is out there. For a homeless person in chaos, for somebody high on drugs, and for somebody that their families turned their back on, they have that place to go to. And with your help, they could really have something built back amazing out there. And thank you guys for listening. And Traig, thank you for doing this. I know today's a hard day to do this on, and I thank you for doing this.